Hello, and welcome to our 5-episode series where we explore Egypt as well as Jordan. Here's a quick preview of what's in this episode.
Hey everyone, it's Mark, and Mark's also here with me. We are here at LAX at the Bradley International Airport. We are here to begin our vacation to Egypt and Jordan. Now I know that some of you have heard, a lot of you are aware about the news that's happening in Israel and some of the things that's happening at Gaza. So far the trip is still a go. We've had a lot of people ask, is this trip still going to go? Is it going to be safe to go? Well, I could tell you that we're still going because we're here. But as far as it's safe, it's probably going to be safe. We'll be okay. We did take some precautions. We did register with the U.S. Embassy's STEP program, where they basically notify you when there's any regarding any issues that may be coming up. So we're going to be notified. We also registered our name and our emergency contact, as well as where we're going to be throughout the time that we're here in Egypt and Jordan. Hopefully you can still hear me. Anyway, so in terms of the rest of the trip, so we're going to be flying to Cairo via layover in Munich. So we'll be in Munich. We're boarding in about an hour and a half. So we'll be boarding here LAX, layover in Munich, and then arriving in Cairo at about 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Right now it's Thursday morning, or Thursday afternoon, sorry, and we'll be arriving Saturday early morning, where our tour operator is going to meet us at the airport and help us through our visa applications for entering. 2/3 of the tour will be in Egypt. The other third is going to be in Jordan. And then we're scheduled to be returning back on the 17th and arriving back at here at LAX on the 19th. So that's it for the itinerary. So stay tuned for more adventures with Traveling with the Marks, me and the other Mark over there sitting down, as we take you to Egypt and Jordan on this trip. Hi again, it's Mark and Mark, Traveling with Marks. We just arrived here in Munich from our trip from LA. It is now 2:15, and our connecting flight to Cairo unfortunately is not until tonight at 9:30. So we have quite a long layover here in Munich. So we're going to just go ahead and check out some of the gift shops, duty-free shops, and just hang out before our flight tonight. And then we're scheduled to arrive in Cairo. It's a 4-hour flight. So we're probably going to arrive there early morning on the 4th, like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Anyway, we'll keep in touch, and I'll see you later. Bye. All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is afternoon. It's about just after 3:30 in the afternoon, November 4th, and we basically slept the entire morning or entire day away. We arrived here in our hotel from the airport around 4:30 in the morning. By the time we got checked in, had some breakfast, and then finally got into bed at around 6 a.m. So it's basically did sleep the day away. We're here right now in our hotel. As you can see, it's a kind of a complex of bungalows with a lot of different they're all single-story units. And we're heading over now to the main building, where we have the lobby, the reception area, the restaurant, and bar. So yeah, we're going to head off that way now. We do have a meet and greet meeting in about half an hour or 20 minutes now with the rest of the tour group. So we'll see what that's all about. And basically, we're going to just hang out for the rest of the day here until our tour starts tomorrow. So stay tuned. We'll see you later. So we just entered the main building over here to my right. is the bar. Over here is the restaurant where we had our breakfast this morning, back here. And we are heading over to the lobby area now. Over here on this side is obviously the lobby, and around the lobby area, and then over here is where we're gonna probably be having our meet and greet later this afternoon. One of the interesting things that we noticed that when we got here yesterday was that there was, I don't know if it's just now with the whole thing in Israel, but there is quite a little bit more security in this hotel. As a matter of fact, when we, as you can see back here, there's a detector, an x-ray machine just as you walk into the lobby. So I don't know if this has been here for a while or if they just added it to their security. And then also when you pulled up to the gate last night, they had a mom-sniffing dog go around the van before they opened up the gate for us to come in. So again, I don't know if it's heightened security or if it's something that they've always implemented for a while. So anyway, that's kind of something interesting. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
The Pyramids of Giza consist of 3 primary pyramids built over 3 generations. The shape of the pyramid was built to be a solar reference to the sky, where the rays of the sun was a ramp in which the pharaohs would ascend to the sky. We were fortunate that it was a bit cloudy that morning, because as you can see from these pictures, the sun just barely peeked through the clouds at the top of the pyramid. The Great Sphinx of Giza is a limestone statue of a reclining sphinx, a mythical creature with the head of a human and the body of a lion. The Great Sphinx measures 240 feet long from paw to tail, 66 feet high from the base to the top of the head, and 62 feet wide at its rear. The 6-layer pyramid of Saqqara predates the later pyramids, including the Pyramids of Giza, and it's the oldest known pyramid in the world. The step pyramid are smaller, 204 feet, and usually flat at the top. This pyramid was designed and built as a tomb for Pharaoh Djoser. On November 6th, our tour continued with a flight from Cairo to Aswan. Here we are at the Aswan airport collecting our luggage. At Aswan, we board our riverboat cruise that will take us from Aswan to Luxor with stops along the way in the next 4 days. If any of you are familiar with riverboat cruising, you may already know that the boats sometimes do have to park along the dock next to each other, and you sometimes have to board your boat by going through the lobby of other boats between your boat and that of the dock. In our case, our boat was about 3 or 4 boats outside from the dock, and where as you can see, we had to walk through the lobbies of the other boats in order to get to ours. After checking into our cabin, our tour continued that afternoon to the philaetemple. The temple complex is situated on an island, thus our ride on this little motorboat to the temple. The temple complex was originally located on Philae Island, near the expansive Nile in Upper Egypt. The rapids and the surroundings have experienced voracious flooding since the initial construction of the Aswan Low Dam in 1902. Therefore, the complex was dismantled and reconstructed here, nearby the Aegean Island, as part of the UNESCO Nubia campaign project. The temple complex includes several temples and buildings dedicated to various deities, with the main temple dedicated to Isis, goddess of the moon, health, and fertility, as well as the gods of Horus and Osiris.
king or high priest only allowed to be here. And that was sharp rules. I mean, any one of them, if he's here, they tie his ankle with like metal chain to outside. Something happened to him, whatever happened to him, so they can drag him, take him out of the room without anyone step, inside this place. Yeah, so the offering table, this is the altar or the offering table. All offerings in ancient Egypt, human.
Later that evening, we had the opportunity to visit a local Nubian home located on one of the islands, where we were treated with traditional Nubian food, hospitality, and entertainment. Once we docked at the island of the Nubian village, we walked the streets lined with shops selling your typical souvenirs as well as all of these spices. Abu Simbel comprises of two massive rock-cut temples in the village of Abu Simbel, near the border of Sudan to the south. It is situated on the western bank of Lake Nasser. The twin temples were originally carved out of the mountainside in the 13th century BC during the reign of Pharaoh Ramses II. The second temple is dedicated to Hathor, the goddess of love and music, as well as his wife Nefertari, not to be confused with Nefertiti. The complex was relocated in its entirety in 1968 to higher ground to avoid it being submerged in the lake with the reconstruction of the Aswan Dam Reservoir. The Temple of Kom Ombo comprises of a double temple, symmetrical on both sides of the main central axis. One half of the temple was dedicated to crocodile god Sobek, and the other half dedicated to falcon god Horus.
That nowadays, because with no dams we had that time, so the water can maybe reach till here when the Nile flooded. So you could see then crocodiles jump from the water out of the Nile, take like nap or rest. You know, in ancient Egypt, very smart way, they decided to worship the crocodile to keep his evil away. This is not the first time, but we did this many times before, especially with Anubis, the jackal. Anubis is something very Egyptian, right? All the movies show Anubis, the jackal. What about the jackal, the beginning? Wild animal, attack tombs at night, eat dead bodies. Wild animal, originally. So Egyptians, to keep his evil away, they worshipped the jackal and made him god of mummification. Can you imagine? God of mummification. So you are not spoil our mummies, no. You protect our mummies. You save it. Very smart way. Exactly, like extremely from right side to left side. So they did the same with the crocodile. They made him god and called him Sobek and let him god-like protector to this land in ancient time. But the legend told us, or the story told us, people, yeah, they They want to do this to build temple for Sobek the crocodile, but they felt like everything for the crocodile is even evil god. So they tried to make balance. They decided to build the temple to be like 50% for Sobek and the other 50 for his brother Horus, the falcon. That's why when you look at the temple, you know, from here, you see the temple like cut in two pieces. Then you see, even the top, you see like two sun discs with two cobras repeated, and this middle wall in the middle, this divides the temple to be two temples. When you walk inside, you're gonna find everything right like left. And even the end of the temple, you're gonna see two Holy of Holies, two sanctuaries. One for Horus, one for Sobek, the crocodile. They found this could be a good way to make balance between evil Sobek and Horus, the good god in ancient Egypt. And they built it like this.